Alright, what you see here is a Casablanca Victorian ceiling fan. It is from February 19th, 1986, and it is the 710th fan made that day. Now this fan is pretty uncommon, this specific one, for the fact that it's from 1986 and it's 3-speed. 3-speed from factory, that is. It wasn't until the 90s that they became more common, or that you'd see them more with the 3-speed configuration. I guess they didn't sell too well in the 80s and as 3-speed, I'm 100% sure. But to find one from the 80s that's 3-speed from factory and not converted to 3-speed, because some of the Victorians are swimmer quiet. So you'd either like find more swim quiet ones or Untitled Touch ones from the 80s. But to find one that's 3-speed from factory and that's from the 80s is pretty uncommon. This fan right here is actually a gallery edition one as well. I mean, it's kind of an obvious gallery edition one, since this one was shown in many Casablanca catalogs over the years. It's actually my favorite combination on a Victorian as well. Antique brass finish with the high gloss walnut blades, especially that they're the darker walnut. Got this off of Facebook Marketplace with Nathan, along with another fan. Fan worked well, so I just wanted to update it with something else. Same thing with the other one. Now they kept one of the other fans that I know of installed just because the finish wasn't really a dated one. But the crystal shades on this is what I really love about this fan. Well, I feel like, not that I don't like the rest of the fan, I definitely do, but I really feel like these crystal shades really tie in the fan all together. It's not just the fan that's nice, it's also the shades on it as well. But yeah, even the blades definitely have a very nice look to them as well. And I'll go ahead and show the tag right there, up close. I just put the phone in front so you can see the numbers on the side a little bit better. Let me go ahead and show the light. As you can see, it does work, and I am using the 5 original light bulbs that came with the fan when I got it, since they're clear ones. And plus, I do like the look of these fans with just clear light bulbs that don't have the orange rods like the LED ones do. So for certain fans, I'll use incandescents like this one when it comes to using clear light bulbs. So I'll turn that back on. So like any Casablanca fan that I just test with or use with clear shades, I'd most likely use incandescents or the clear LEDs. I'm just gonna get it to zoom in, focus on the light, the camera. So I'm showing the shades kind of, whatever, good, they actually show up nicely now. I was gonna say, I kind of do wish that this was I could find one that's in 5-speed, that's an antique brass as well, because I really do like how they look. But a 4-speed configuration is definitely very childhood-like for me. Now the Victorians specifically, I can't really say that they're a childhood fan, more so the Hampton Bay St. Clair, which is a knockoff of these. However, I do remember seeing the Victorian 2 in the 2001 Casablanca brochure catalog, but I don't remember if it had a light kit on it or not. But the Victorians, in a sense, are childhood for me. So they are with many other collectors as well. Go ahead and shut off the lighting around me. I mean, it lights up the basement very well, honestly. It definitely has no trouble lighting up the space. Now, the fan is basically mint. Now, the one thing I am noticing is that the blades are a bit warped, unfortunately. Especially that one there, you can see it's a bit warped. I mean, it's an old fan too, and wood does warp over time. I feel like they all have a bit of a warp to them. But this one specifically is definitely a bit warped. Could also be from the house sitting around for a while and the fan not being in motion, because I do know the top of the blades there had a lot of dust on it on the top of it, mostly from not being used for a while. So that possibly did it as well, or it could have just been in a room where the window was open a lot. But yeah, it's just an absolutely gorgeous fan. I'm really happy to have it. Alright, go ahead and shut it off. Start off on the low speed. Definitely a fan like I feel would look perfect for like a fall setting, like in a lake type house or something like that. I don't know. Like kitchen, dining room, living room, bedroom. Almost any room in a house I can see this looking good in. Except for like, obviously not like a bathroom or something, but or just like a mansion type house or something. But an office, especially, like an inside library, like the one that Cleveland fan collector, that are known as Brian Peterson by the community. How he has one of these in his office as well, which I actually think looks perfect in there. So Brian, if you're watching this, I definitely love that install. But yeah, it was actually that specific one that he installed there. Like when I saw that one, it made me even really want to try to find one of these even more so. I've always wanted to get one, but after seeing that one that he installed from the Walnut stencil blades, it made me want to try and find one even more. So has a very nice low speed to it. So, and the fact that it's a 52-inch Casablanca, not a 50-inch one, definitely gives it a slower low speed to it. But yeah, and just having this one up reminds me of having the Code Up Regency in my living room at the old apartment. I do miss having that fan up. I was at some point in the future. I'm not right now, but at some point in the future, I definitely plan to possibly make this look like it in a sense by putting it with like walnut blades and swapping out the shades with tulip ones. I definitely do want to try it with stencil blades at some point, but not right now. But yeah, it has a nice low speed to it. It's a low speed that actually does move it some air. It's not like just a aesthetic low speed and such. But yeah, this fan I already know if I could install ceiling fan in my mom's bedroom in this apartment, it would definitely be this one if I had a question. Originally, it would have been one of the Newtone Ferrari Deluxes that I got out of that bank, but now that I have this one, I definitely would prefer this one in her room. Plus, I know she likes this one a lot more. She even told me that she thinks it's a beautiful fan. Just there's no way to really hang up a fan there with the medallion there without risking the chance of ruining it. Plus, it's an apartment. I don't want to ruin the ceiling here just to put up a fan to have it installed for like a year or two before I move out at some point. Or probably like 2 to 3 years, but it's not really worth it long term to do that and such. I definitely feel like this type of light kit would look really nice on a Zephyr as well, which I definitely would love to try on the Zephyr I have, the anti-brass one, the 4-blade one. Says it does need some work to it as the poaching is having some issues. But it's the main reason why I haven't gotten a video of that one for a remake. Recently, I actually would have done it a while back. I was going to do it, but then noticed the poaching was having issue where it would spark after pulling it and such. Have like a tiny spark, so it's like I definitely don't think it was a good idea to try to test it with the way it was. Alright, let's go ahead and show off the light. Interestingly enough, this fan didn't have the Casablanca pose to it, but the Panama 5 that I picked up off this did. So I found that a bit interesting. Just trying to adjust it so you can kind of see the crystal design on the light as well with the fan running. That way it's not just the fan and the crystal shades looking like this way, you can even see the detail. There we go. Yeah, this fan with the light on just, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's definitely one of my favorite finds of the year. I actually, honestly, it would be my favorite one if it wasn't for the new tones that I saved from that bank and the stealth. I definitely gotta say those are probably my top 3 favorite finds. This one's definitely up there too. It's just the new tones are ones I've been wanting to get for a while, and I had my eye on them for the longest time. But it's definitely, this one's definitely up there. But the stealth, I feel like it's probably my favorite score, especially since it's comfort touch. You know, it's definitely, actually, I mean, honestly, now I have it, see it in person, this could be my favorite one after the new tone, before, like, and then the new tones. It's probably either this or the stealth. So, yeah, let's go ahead and bring it up to medium. I definitely can say, like, for contemporary fans that I found this year, the stealth definitely is my favorite one, the black and rosewood one that I found. Though for vintagey looking, more traditional looking fans, it's probably this one or the brown new tones that I saved from the bank. It's definitely like a fan I can see looking really nice, like in an old Christmas advertisement bet from like the 80s. And so having a Christmas tree, fireplace, and having this up right above it. See, like if my mom was to have this in her bedroom, I honestly don't even see her using it on high speed too much. I think she'd probably have it on medium or low. She's not really a fan of using them on high speed. Although, with this being a 52-inch Casablanca and not a 50-inch one, I don't feel like the high speed on this would really bother her too much because it definitely doesn't go as fast. But it still pushes a good amount. It's about the same amount of air either way. But yeah, in the street that I live on, there's a lot of old houses, and I already know many of them are like this. Like a lot of the rooms I see when I walk by them, especially at nighttime, I can always picture like a Victorian looking really nice in there. Show up the light. But yeah, and Mean Street definitely does a good job as well. I do like that it is 4-blade only, but I definitely would like to find one has a 5-blade one. I could even use the 5-blade adapter on this, but the only thing is I don't have a 5th blade for this one. I do prefer to use with 4 blades though, but it depends on where it's installed. Another thing about it, I like the antique brass ones more for 4 blades, but for some reason I like the polished brass ones a little bit more in the 5-way configuration. I'm not sure why. But the white and brass one I definitely like more with the 4-way configuration. But yeah, this fan I definitely, if I could put up this fan in my arms without ruining the ceiling, or like knowing that there wouldn't be any risk of ruining it, I would put this in her room in a heartbeat. And it would, because also not only that I know she likes it a lot, it would match the room perfectly too. The fireplace or like the mantle in her room is like a walnut coloration, and same thing with her dresser is like a dark walnut as well. One thing is, I actually don't think she would maybe use the light on it all that much, considering that it gives off quite a bit of light. That's actually one thing I kind of just realized, as it has 5 lights on it. Alright, let's go ahead and move it up to the high speed. Now the fan has probably the least amount of wobble I've seen on any Casablanca fan I've tested down here. I mean, as you can tell, the blades are definitely a little bit either out of clock, or it's mostly because one of them's, I think it's that one that's pretty warped that's making the blades do that. In fact, another reason why I think it might not be wobbling too much is due to the weight of the light kit on it. That could be another reason. Yeah, definitely it's pushing a very good amount of air. I mean, it's K55 fan, so that's not a surprise there. I'm seeing the lights on. It does have a tiny bit of a wobble, but more than I could notice. At the same time, though, this does have a pretty solid flywheel to it as well. It's like that you see more on the older Casablanca, so that definitely plays a factor in it as well. Not to say that the more later ones aren't good. They definitely tend to get bent more compared to these older looking ones. I feel like if I was to do like a dual install of this I would like to do a dual install of this in like a dining room and a Zephyr in a kitchen with the same type of light kit, except for it being these crystal shades that have like a beveled glass light kit on it. That I think would make a really nice install. Shut it off. And you spin down, and I'll show it on reverse. Definitely doesn't seem like the spin is going to be extremely long on it, but who knows. Something I kind of noticed that a lot of companies that copied this fan, they had them like kind of not that they're named like after the Victorian, but like they kind of, some of them I noticed they had them named like after a certain art period, like there's the Victorian era, the Renaissance era, and such. From what I've heard, Gulf Coast Renaissance is like basically the second best, like the best knockoff of the Victorian. I think it's still sold to this day. I'm 100% sure, but I know they don't sell them in polished brass no more. I don't think they have them in anti-brass either. I do know they sell them in bronze, from last time I checked. Yeah, let's go ahead and start this off on the reverse. Let me go ahead and show off the white. All right, now to move it up to medium. I'm feeling a breeze from over here on reverse. That's impressive. All right, now to move it up to high. Definitely wobbles a bit more on high, on reverse, which I'm not surprised. Usually the case with almost all my fans I test. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.